lot of things go along with it. So this is basically something that happens. I think we are also live on YouTube now, so that is great. And we would be moving towards discussing about some further things. We would be moving on towards the solutions and some of the things that you can do. And then we would also be speaking about this Pro 90D speech system and how you can work with myself and Mr. Michael and a lot of that stuff. So meanwhile, do you have something to add, Mr. Michael, something to say, or should I go on? I'm reading some comments here. Okay. Introducing reading in the classroom. And okay, you say that you're going to go back to your school for masters, so you're going to have a lot of presentations and a lot of talks right there, and everything with it. Okay, so yes, Mr. Michael, I'll just go on. Okay, I was just asking if you had something to add. Okay, so now many of you guys might be thinking that, okay, you are saying these are the speaking situations that we have a hard time. These are the speaking situations where we struggle with our speech. Now that is fine. Now you might be asking, what do we have to do? Like, what should we do with them? Or what should we do with these speaking situations? So the first thing that I would like to say is that the Pro 90D speech system is actually a holistic system. It's not only confined to certain speaking situations, to saying your name, to saying this word, to saying that word, to this or that, all of those things. Pro 90D speech system is actually a holistic system where a lot of things go around, where you actually change your speaking identity, where you actually change who you see yourself as a speaker. You actually change your speaking style as a whole. So when you change your speaking style as a whole, these speaking situations just take care of themselves. So the major solution is that you have to change your speaking style, not only in these certain situations, but you have to change your speaking style, you have to change your speech, and you have to change yourself as a speaker as a whole. But now, what to do when you're working on your speech and in the process, if you are facing these situations and if you are actually struggling or finding it hard to be in these speaking situations and you don't know what to do, doing this or doing that, what should I do, and everything. Number one, let's start with introducing yourself. More specifically, saying your name. When you're saying your name, obviously, when someone asks you your name, you can't change your name, you can't replace your name, you can't say something else. Some of the people might do that if they are somewhere with the where the people don't know their names, maybe at Starbucks or somewhere. But in most of the cases, obviously you can't change your name. So what happens is that you feel a certain kind of pressure on yourself that I have to say my name and I have to say this in the exact same way. And what if I get stuck? Now, this is the main issue, that we are restricting ourselves to saying our name in a certain way only. Now, this is a major issue because that is the way that we are really putting a lot of pressure on ourselves, and that whole pressure would add a lot of anxiety, it would add a lot of fear, and that fear, that anxiety would actually get us to get stuck on our name. So what you have to do, first of all, know that if they ask you your name, you don't have to say that in the exact similar way. You don't have to say your name. Like they ask you your name, what is your name, and you have to say your name. whatever your name might be. Okay. Just know you have a lot of ways that you can say your name, and I'll show you how. For example, my name is Faro. So if someone asks me my name and I feel like I would get stuck on my name, or it would be hard for me to say my name because of all of the unsuccessful speaking experiences that I've had in the past, I won't just say my name. I would say, or I can say, yeah, sure. So my name, yeah, sure. So my name is Faro. Sure, I am Faro. You see what I'm doing? Yeah, it's nice to meet you. My name is Faro. Yeah, so I'm Faro. It's Faro. You can always add a lot of words like my name is, I am, it's, and you can find a lot of phrases. I'm just naming a few. Then what you are doing is that you are airflow linking your name with the words that are preceding it. So you're not just saying Faro. Instead, you're saying, my name is Faro. My name is Faro. But you're not stopping after the is. My name is, and then you feel like you might get stuck on the word Faro. So you're not doing that. You're going like, my name is Faro, as if this whole sentence is just one single word. My name is Faro, where you are linking your words, where you're blending those words, where you are, in a sense, connecting those words. And you don't give your mind an opportunity to get stuck and think about saying your name, because now you're not stopping after the is, that my name is. No, my name is Faro. If you say my name is, then you stop, then you're again at the same place. Because again, you would start to worry about, oh, I have to say my name. How do I say that? Okay. But don't fluent people use introductory words anyway? Excellent point. My name is Farah, and very fluent people do this anyway. That is absolutely what we are speaking about. Just know that this is not something that is unique. This is not something that is weird. So many of the people believe that they have to say their name in the exact same way, and if they change the way, now that is weird. I just have to say my name, or I have to say my name, and that is the only one way. That way, you really put a lot of pressure on yourself, and that is, of course, not helpful at all. So you know that the people do this all the time. They add introductory words, they add certain sounds, they say hi, they say nice to meet you, my name is this. So these are some of the things that you can do. I want you to find a lot of ways for yourself. uh, Mr. Michael, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to jump in real quick. Excuse me.
Yeah, sure.
And so using, for example, introductory words and blending is strategic in nature. We're not saying that you should use this as a trick to say your name. Like Farouk said earlier, it's a holistic system. So if you just use this one technique, sure, it can be helpful, but it's not the only thing. We really are helping you change your speaking style, your mindset, your identity. This is strategic in the sense that, like Farouk says, you take the pressure off yourself. That's a huge one right there, just by taking the pressure off yourself. And then the second benefit is the more successful you are at doing something, the more successful you will continue to be. Doesn't mean you'll be successful all the time, but if you use this tool, for example, excuse me, and you're successful, you say, wow, I was able to say my name. So what eventually happens is you begin to believe, because you did it in the past, that you can say your name. Then you stop focusing on it. Now it's no longer an issue. It's no longer a problem. And so someone asks you your name and you just say your name. You don't need to use introductory words. So it's strategic, right? We're using these tools when we need to help you to position you in a place where you can more easily say your name, where you don't feel the pressure. And once that happens, you'll find that you'll be more and more successful. You'll stop thinking about introducing yourself and saying your name. And often you'll just be able to come out and say your name if that's what you want to do. And so I just wanted to jump in and say that. Okay, go ahead, Farouk.
Yeah, sure. So that was actually an excellent point. And that is what happens. After you find a lot of ways to say your name, after a while, your mind says, oh, now we don't really fear when we have to say our name. Now it's easy for us. We have a lot of ways. After that, what happens is that you don't even have to use those ways. Why? Because you aren't fearful now. You are not fearing that I would get stuck. You are not fearing that, oh, what if I get stuck or this or that? Because now your mind knows that you have had a lot of successful memories of saying your name. So now you can say whichever way you want. For example, if now someone would ask me my name, I don't have to say my name is Faro. I can just say Faro, whatever I have to say. So that is what happens after you keep doing this thing. Because what happens? Your brain stops fearing, your mind stops fearing. When you're not fearing, you're not anticipating. When you're not anticipating, you're not worried. The word just flows out, whatever it is, actually. So exactly, that is what happens basically. I'm reading some of the comments right there. Okay. Uh, okay, moving along. Let's discuss about what if someone asks you any certain number or something. Now, that is also something that is related with saying your name in a way where you feel like obviously you can't change your number, you can't do anything like that. You have to say what it is, whatever it is. So there is also some kind of a pressure that you get on yourself when someone asks you any number of all of the examples that I just gave. So for example, if someone asks you your phone number, the first instinct is to go fast, especially if you have struggled, especially if you're someone who has had a lot of unsuccessful memories of saying your name. What happens is that, no, of saying your phone number, what happens is that the first instinct is to go fast and say that number as fast as you can. And the moment you do that, it gets you off the hook and you start to really get stuck, you start to really struggle, and all of those things. So, what I used to do when I started working with this Pro 90D speech system is that I also used to find a lot of ways of saying my phone number. Now, again, as Mr. Michael said, this is not something that we are doing for the long term. We are doing that as we are actually creating our new speaking style. So that is holistic. Now that is long term. But these are some of the things that we are doing while we are working on our speech in order to change our old styles, in order to change our old instincts of forcing words out, of having to get stuck, being fearful, and this or that. So these are some of the things that we are doing. So the first thing that I worked on when someone used to ask me my phone number, again, I used to create a lot of ways of saying that phone number. For example, the phone numbers right here actually start with 0300. And I used to get stuck on that first part. So when someone used to ask me my phone number and I was working on my speech and I knew that now I'm not forcing them out, I am actually creating my new speaking style. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So I used to go like, yeah, sure. So the number is actually 0300 2581327. Now, that is not actually my phone number right now. So I'm not letting you guys know about my phone number. I'm just giving you an example. So you saw what I did there. Instead of going fast and instead of having to get stuck, I extended them out. I said them slowly. Yeah, sure. So the number is 0300 2581327. You can find a lot of ways. You can link the numbers as well. I have been linking the numbers as well. 0300 2581327, because those numbers are also words, if you see in a way, like the number 4 is actually FOUR and all of that. So you're linking, you're extending, you're doing all of those things. Now if you're inside this Pro 90D speech system, you would be familiar with what we are speaking about, like these speaking skills and all of these strategies. But if you're not inside this system, you might not be really, like, you might be understanding what I'm saying, but we get into a lot of detail about each speaking skill and modeling and all of that stuff inside the Pro 90D speech system. So that is absolutely the main thing. If you have to change your speech, if you want to really get onto that next level, yes, these videos are very helpful. These webinars, YouTube lives, YouTube videos that Michael has on his YouTube channel, even some of the videos that I have on my YouTube channel, they're very helpful. But the main thing that you have to do is that you have to get inside a system in order to really move yourself ahead, move yourself forward, and actually move yourself in the right direction. So we are going to be speaking about that more. So the main thing that I'm just saying right now is to find a number of ways that you can say certain things. Let it be your phone number, let it be your name, let it be any number that you have to say, or whatever. Okay, find a lot of ways, and there are a lot of ways. We just don't see those ways because we have been so used to saying all of these things, all of these words, all of these numbers in a certain way that we feel like there is no way. And you know what the most, or one of the most interesting parts is, even knowing that you have a lot of ways makes you so much relaxed that sometimes, now listen, sometimes you might not even have to use a way. Just knowing that you have a lot of ways would make you so relaxed that you would be able to say the word or the number or whatever without using any other way at all. Because your mind would say, oh, we have a lot of ways, so why do we have to be anxious about them? Why do we have to fear them? So you won't fear, you won't worry, and when you won't worry, that is where the magic would happen. And you would say that out smoothly without any problem, without any issue at all. That is something that would be an extremely helpful thing. Find a lot of ways. Find a lot of ways. If you are inside the Pro 90D speech system, you know what I'm speaking about. If you aren't, you still know what I'm speaking about. But in order to really get yourself onto that next level, get inside the system. Okay, we spoke about reading aloud, we spoke about speaking on the phone, we spoke about giving presentations, we spoke about giving interviews. Now inside the Pro 90D speech system, there are special specific sections, like one section on reading aloud, there is a one whole video on reading, and all of the points that go along with it, like how you have to read, what you have to do here, what you have to do there. And there is a lot of detail on that. There is a video especially on speaking on the phone, and there are whole sections on interviewing, there are whole sections on presentations. There is the ultimate presentation system out there in the self study course, in the self study system that you get inside the Pro 90D speech system. So that is holistic. I'm just speaking about them very briefly so that you get a bit of taste about what is this system, what are some of the main things, and what are some of the major things actually inside this Pro 90D speech system. So let's speak a bit about speaking on the phone, and more specifically about getting started speaking on the phone. So I figured out that I was having an issue saying hello. So I say, okay, why do I have to start with hello? Why can't I add some words with it? Why can't I say something else before I say hello or something like that? So sometimes, like I think Michael has also spoken about it a lot. Sometimes I would go like, okay, so yes, hello, my name is Farooq. How you doing? And something like that. Yes, hello. So hi, hello. And sometimes some sort of sounds, hello. So hi, you're extending, you're adding words, you're adding sounds, you're having fun with it actually. And again, the same thing, you are creating a lot of ways for yourself to say it. You're not just focused on saying it in a certain way and really putting a lot of pressure on yourself that I had just have to say it one way. What if this way wouldn't work out? So if you have to really take one thing from this session, know that you have a lot of ways, find a lot of ways, and when you would know that there are a lot of ways, that anxiety would start to subside, that anticipation would start to subside, and that is where the magic would happen actually. So find ways to say hi, find ways to say hello, and people do it all the time. Even the people who don't get stuck, I have heard them, some of them don't start with hello or hi. They would say something else. Hey, so I'm speaking from here and my name is this. I'm speaking from here, hello. Okay, so my name is this and hello, I hope you're doing well. Find a lot of ways and just create a lot of ways for yourself. Then, as I said, there is a whole section on speaking on the phone inside the Pro 90 speech system that specifically deals, like I'm speaking very briefly about it, like how you can use your hands while you're speaking on the phone, how you can really, just get started slow. That is also a main thing. When you get started speaking, especially on the phone, if you get started fast, that might start to bring your speech down. So how you can get started slow. Okay, so hi, hello, I hope you're doing well. My name is Farooq, and what I want to say actually is that I want to speak about this. So you can get started super slow or whatever it is, and then you can get yourself into a good flow, into a very good flow, and then actually you can move along with it. So that is something basically, again, which is very, very useful and very, very helpful in a sense. Okay, great. Again, we spoke about phone presentations, interviews. Now on presentations and interviews, there are whole sections. You might also find a lot of videos of Michael on the YouTube channel. So I'm not going to be going in a lot of detail about that. And so these are some of the main speaking situations that I had to actually speak about, and all of those things. Let's wrap it up with reading aloud. Okay, reading aloud. Now, once again, when you're reading, aloud, you have the words in front of you. Now, what you are doing, or what you might be used to doing, is reading word by word and anticipating each and every single word that you're reading, and then anticipating, worrying about it, then forcing it out, and doing all of those things. So, the first thing while reading aloud is to get into a good flow when you're reading, to really flow with your words when you're reading. And this is where airflow linking comes in. This is where blending your words actually comes in. Now, that is again that what is airflow linking? What is free flow speaking? That is something that we speak about inside the Pro 90 speech system. So you're linking your words instead of anticipating every word, instead of speaking word by word. You are going in a very good flow and you're actually reading like this. You are also reading in a bit more dramatic way. Instead of reading in a fearful way, you are trying to read in a bit more dramatic way. What I mean by being a bit more dramatic is that instead of reading like this, instead you're reading like this. So you're doing all of those things, you're using your hands, maybe you're holding the book in one hand, you're using the rest of the hand. And there is a lot of stuff inside the Pro90D speech system. There is a whole video that Mr. Michael has on reading aloud inside the system. So that is basically reading, and a lot of things, like sometimes even when I would have to say the word, when I would have to say the word present at my university, when the professor is marking my attendance, that also used to make me very fearful. And there have been many situations, although I was there in the class, but only because I was not able to say the word present, I was marked absent. That might sound weird, that might sound funny, but then once again, I found a lot of fails. I said that, why do I have to say this word? I can also say, yes, sir. I can also say, yes, miss, but I can also say, yes, present. Yes, I'm present. I'm present, present. And after I found a lot of ways, what happened is that now I don't even have to use those ways. Now when any of the professors at my university is marking my attendance, I am just able to say that word now. Why? Because I have had a lot of successful speaking memories of saying it right now. So I can just go on and on and on, but obviously we have some sort of a time restriction, and we would be speaking about more speaking situations in some of the rest of these YouTube lives or webinars. But these are some of the things, or this or some stuff that I wanted to speak about, that I wanted to highlight. And I hope that it was very, very useful for you guys actually. Now, once again, the Pro90D speech system is holistic, where we work on your speaking style, where all of the speaking skills play a part: extending, blending, linking, finishing, articulating and pausing, inflecting, all of that. Now, that is what we learn inside the Pro90D speech system. Then you also change your mindset by all of the audios and videos that are there inside the Pro90D speech system. Then with the visualizations, with the verbalizations, as I said, with the audio listening, and with all of the self-talk and all of the affirmations, how you can change your mindset. Then most importantly, modeling. How do you change your speaking identity? Now, that is obviously a main thing, and that is what is the foundation of this system. So the system is holistic, but what we were speaking about is that while you are working on your speech as a whole, what to do in these specific situations if you get stuck, if you find it hard, or this or that, and all of the things. So do you have something to add on, Mr. Michael?
Yeah, I wanted to have you briefly share a recent success that you had, because I wanted to point out the difference in Pro90D and, say, speech therapy and other, perhaps even scientifically based therapies out there. I've gotten quite a few people who've told me that they've gone to therapists and they've been told that you're never really going to get rid of this. This isn't a cure. You're not going to be able to get rid of it. You probably won't be able to get rid of this. And in Pro90D, we never say that we're trying to help you get rid of stuttering or cure it or even really eliminate it. What we're saying is we're going to help you replace it, right? But we also say that we want to help you become an excellent speaker. So it's not just about not stuttering, it's about becoming an excellent speaker. And those are very, very different things, because there are lots of people who don't stutter, but they're also not excellent speakers. So Farouk, you've shared how you used to struggle pretty severely before, but recently you had an experience at your school, I think. So just share that with us.
Yeah, sure. So, as Mr. Michael said, recently I had a very good success at my university, actually. And that is, of course, not the only success. I have been doing a lot of things after I've worked on my speech with this speech system. And my speech has changed. Obviously, my life has changed as a whole. And some of you guys might also know that now I'm also working as a speech coach with Mr. Michael. So that is also something that I'm having real fun with. And now I'm helping the people out there with their speeches as well. So one of the recent successes that I had, so I have been working in a lot of Zoom meetings. I have been having a lot of meetings with my own clients. I have been doing a lot of orientations, a lot of group sessions on Zoom, online, with this Pro 90 speech system. But because of the COVID-19, I did not have an experience where I had to speak live, where I had to actually present live. For the last, I think, maybe 2.5 years, I haven't actually presented live before this recent success. So when I was asked that I had to do a formal presentation at my university in front of 50, 60 people, so even though I'm working as a speech coach, I was feeling anxious. I was feeling a bit fearful. Now, the reason for that is actually before I started working on this Pro 90 speech system, I had a lot of unsuccessful speaking experiences. And just to name one, I even remember an experience where I went onto the stage and without even saying a single word, I came back. Not even a single word would come out of my mind. So I would have the mic in my hand, my legs would be shaking, my hands would be shaking, that mic would be shaking, of course, and all of the people in front of me would be laughing. So I even remember that experience. I went onto the stage and I came back without even saying a single word, not even hi, not even hello, not even my name. So although my speech has changed, I'm working as a speech coach. So still, when I knew that I had to do this live, my mind was still trying to go back onto those speaking experiences that I had in the past. And it was saying all of the stuff like, what if this happens or that happens? And being honest, I was fearful. But when I went right there, like for the first few moments, I was not able to really believe that that was me speaking. Now, I had a lot of successes speaking in these Zoom meetings, and like I'm speaking right here in a lot of meetings. But right there, I wasn't able to really, for the first few moments, believe that this is myself speaking, because I don't know that why am I speaking so well if I was feeling so much fearful. But then I started to realize that because I've changed my speech with this Pro 90 speech system, because I've worked on my speech, this Pro 90 speech system has got me even above the average person out there. And that is what happened. There were around 40 to 50 presentations in our class, and many of the members came up to me and they said, yours was the best. Now, I was the only one right there who had a history with his speech, who has struggled with his speech. Now, the rest of the people, they have not struggled with their speech. And because they haven't struggled with their speech, they have not had a chance to work on their speech. So I feel very good. I feel this as a blessing for me that I struggled with my speech, because that gave me a chance to get into this Pro 90 speech system to work on my speech. And once again, as Michael said, this system is not helping you remove stammering, stuttering. This system is helping you become an excellent, amazing, superb speaker. And when you do that, that stammering, stuttering, all of that just takes care of itself. So now you become an amazing, excellent speaker. So see, I went from where I was not able to say a single word, then being the best speaker in all of the presentations. But that is just one experience. I'm just sharing one. there have been a lot. Now there are many sort of events where whenever there is a certain sort of event, the people would ask me to host it. The people would say that we would like for you to host it. Now the rest of the people haven't struggled with their speech and everything. Why are they asking me to host it? Why are they asking me to really host it or something like that? Because they see me as a very good speaker, because they see me as a very great speaker, because I have worked along with this speech system. So that is actually that success, Michael, that I wanted to share. You're on mute, I think.
Okay, thank you. Good. So we're going to wrap up. That's just an example of how when you work through the system, it can not only help you in very, very specific speaking situations, but it can help you holistically to become the kind of person who can go out and give presentations, do great interviews, obviously speak on the phone, introduce yourself, so forth and so on. So for those of you that might be in this webinar now, or maybe you're watching this live, we just want you to keep in mind that the fastest way to get from where you are now to where you want to be with your speech is to work with us one-on-one. If it's a good fit for you, it's not right for everyone, but private coaching is usually the fastest way. And so you have an option. You can work with Farouk or you can work with myself. Many of you out there may be living in a country, you may be working in an economy where you simply can't afford our current coaching prices. And so we have some special pricing that has been arranged. If you want to work, if you want to coach and you want to work with Farouk, we have some very, very, very special pricing. So just wanted to let you know that. So what you can do is just visit our website, pro90d.com, and then there's a little chat bubble, and just send us a message and we will get you in touch with Farouk. And if you need to speak with him, he can do a free assessment session with you, and he can share with you what this special pricing is. Very, very affordable. And so just want to encourage you that if you want to work with us, because it's the fastest and easiest way to accelerate the process. I've seen where people have improved their speech 10 times faster than when they're working on their own. So if you have interviews coming up or presentations coming up, don't wait. Work with us now. Again, just go to the website, you'll see the chat bubble, send us a message, say, hey, saw your video, I would like to do the coaching, I have some questions or whatever, and we will be in touch with you. I've also put a link here to get the self-study, and I'm putting a link here for a new product, a new resource. It's a self-talk affirmation tool set, and I'll be adding fresh sessions every month. And so when you subscribe, there's already going to be some in there, but I'll be adding new ones each month. So you can check that out. So there's a link above for the self-study. I'll just repaste that again. And then you can also go to our website where the information for the self-study and the coaching is there. But if you're interested in it and you see the price, you're like, well, I can't really afford that now. Don't worry about that. Just get in touch with us and we will work something out with you in working with Farouk. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up there. Farouk, do you have anything else you want to share with us?
Yeah, not really. I was just saying that I can also leave my email address right there. So if you have something extra to ask or something like
That's
that,
fine.
you can also ask me
You can do that.
Yeah, sure. And obviously you can just let Michael know on the Pro90D speech system, the chat bubble. that you would be able to see. You can also book an assessment session with me, and there is an option for that actually on the website. And obviously, you can also let Michael know on his email address. You can also let me know on my email address, whatever is appropriate for you. I'm just leaving it off. So here it is.
Very good. All right. So thank you all very much for being here today. Thank you, Farouk. And thank you guys that are watching the replay. And just remember that you can do something about your speech, right? You don't feel like there's no hope, like you're stuck. You can do something about your speech. And so we'll see you the next time.
Hope to see you all.